from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Attacked as a female, wanting to have a family and still be in this coaching role. I don't think that I would have been addressed or talked to at all if I had been a male carrying a baby onto the floor.
A coach from an Alaskan wrestling team is upset after being told she couldn't have her baby on the wrestling floor. She's in Fargo coaching her team in the national championship tournament, along with wrestlers from 48 other states. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
NDSU and USA Wrestling say it's a safety risk. But as Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop explains, the longtime wrestler and coach feels it had less to do with the baby and more about her being a woman.
Marcy Lane says she has been here in the past years and always seen coaches with babies and young children in the corner on the wrestling floor. But Sunday, things were different than past years.
And I went to go reach for my baby and take my baby out with me, and he said babies and kids are not allowed on the mat and wouldn't let us go out on the mat and coach.
Fargo Police Officer Joel Vettel is working with NDSU on behalf of the event. He says it was a safety risk to have an infant that close to the action on the floor and brought it to the attention of USA Wrestling, where they had the final decision.
We made a decision based on the safety of the individuals involved, right? With the request of the security, that we looked at the factors and said that this is very reasonable, that we do not have infants on the floor of a wrestling event.
Okay, is that going forward for every wrestling event or just here?
What we decided yesterday is for this tournament.
USA Wrestling offered babysitting for Marcy, but she declined, saying she didn't know the people that would have been watching her child.
It was a shock to me because I had been to 4 other national tournaments this year and coached with the baby in the corner. Wrestling typically is a family sport. There's babies and kids around.
Others say it's a safety risk, but Marcy says otherwise.
I've seen no instances with babies being held by parents in the past. I have seen instances where kids that are walking across the mat or around the mat have had instances with wrestlers, but they're unsupervised. And as far as I can tell, the staff here on the floor is young kids that aren't paying attention.
Which was seen at a wrestling match today. A young staff member sat on the mat eating pizza. USA Wrestling says their staff does have a duty.
The children that are staff volunteering here, are they close to the action?
Not near as close as the individuals in the corner.
Marcy and her baby plan to support her athletes from the stands.
Our sport's growing, and if they don't allow us to be down there and be pioneers and show women that you can do things with your children, then we won't be coming around. You know, we can't. You can't ask us to choose between our family and the love for our sport.
In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The wrestling tournament has brought in more than 4,000 participants and is the biggest wrestling tournament in the world. It continues through the end of the week. And if you have an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline at 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will then get on the case.
A rape kit exam can be very involved and take hours to complete, and the information collected sometimes can sit on the evidence shelf for years. Area law enforcement say that's not the case here. A months-old law in Minnesota mandates police and sheriff's offices report the numbers of untested kits to the state by August 1st. The Moorhead PD expects to have maybe 1 or 2. None for the Clay County Sheriff's Office. The agencies partner with local hospitals where a special nurse administers the sex assault exam.
It's definitely hard hearing some of the stories and looking back into my own personal choices and realizing how truly lucky some of us are.
Williamson adds it's not uncommon for an exam to last 4 hours, and she says men can be the victim of a sexual assault as well.
One person was sent to the hospital tonight following a crash this afternoon on I-94 about 7 miles east of Moorhead. Traffic was reduced to 1 lane. The crash involved a semi hauling a track hoe and a pickup pulling a camper. The crash caused both vehicles to go into the median. One person did have some non-life-threatening injuries here.
The North Dakota Department of Health is investigating a possible cluster of E. coli locally. 3 cases have been reported, all people under 18 years of age. One of the cases has been diagnosed with hemolytic uremic syndrome. That's a severe complication of infections. Symptoms can include abdominal cramping, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. If you have questions, you're asked to call the North Dakota Department of Health. Now, coming up on Valley News Live 10 at 10, Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood will dig into the cause of what can cause this infection and what the chances are of you getting the bacteria.
Well, it's very warm and quiet out there today, quite a bit different from what we saw the last week. Let's head over to Hutch Johnson to see what we can expect tonight. Hutch?
Yes, a refreshing cool down as well as we head into the evening. Cooler temperatures and still some breezy conditions. A look at the radar showing the international border counties, a slight chance of some sprinkles working their way into the Cavalier area here and Walhalla within the upcoming minutes. Here's a look at your Fargo area planner. We will stay dry here in the Southern Valley. Temperatures slipping into the 60s pretty quickly. Dry air cools rapidly. The heat is going to return and chances of storms as well. Stephanie, all details on that in your hour-by-hour forecast.
But it's nice to get a little break.
A little break is always pleasant.
All right, thank you, Hutch. Well, a stolen vehicle did not get very far after the driver rear-ended another vehicle. It happened in the 3000 block of Gateway Drive. The driver of the stolen vehicle, Brandon Posey, was arrested on several charges, including theft of a motor vehicle, DUI, reckless endangerment. It's believed that Posey was speeding during that time of the crash, and the drivers involved in the crash did not have life-threatening injuries.
The search continues tonight for a pair of stolen slippers. They're Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. You could earn $1 million if you can solve this mystery. The slippers were on display at the Judy Garland Museum in her hometown of Grand Rapids. 10 years ago this summer, someone broke into the back door, smashed the display case, grabbed the slippers, and within less than a minute, left with an iconic piece of American film history. It was a shocking crime to an anonymous Wizard of Oz fan who now is offering a major reward for the return of the slippers.
Very pleased to announce that a reward has just been offered for $1 million to aid in the process in speeding up the process of having the perpetrators either come forward or someone that knows the perpetrators to come forward.
There were actually 3 other pairs of ruby slippers used in the filming of the movie. One pair is at the Smithsonian, another's at the Motion Picture Museum in LA. A third pair was just purchased by a private collector. If you'd like more information on how to collect $1 million, we have it for you on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story.
Terrorist attack targeting military recruiting centers has sparked a national conversation after 4 Marines were killed and 3 others injured in Tennessee. Many are wondering why trained military recruits don't carry weapons.
A local terrorist expert tells us these centers are too vulnerable, calling them a soft target. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson looks closer at protecting them.
The world is a different place.
Serving in the Air National Guard for 40 years, former North Dakota Adjutant General Mike Haugen knows a lot about training and keeping good soldiers.
It's getting to be a lot less secure and safe.
Haugen remembers a time when recruiting centers were protected with a fence and armed guards. Today, many centers are part of a strip mall where recruiters are unarmed.
At the time, we thought storefront locations were safe, secure, no different than probably any other store or business downtown. I know that with the dynamics of changing threat levels, that needs to be revisited.
My default position is always, the more good guys with guns, the better.
Terrorist expert and NDSU professor Jeffrey Baumgartner says it's time to change policies, adding that men and women serving should be allowed to protect themselves.
We live in a particular time and age where our military personnel who are stationed here domestically are vulnerable and are at risk.
It's not one size fits all.
The former general wants more security, but says the choice to arm recruiters isn't as simple as it sounds. While some branches of the military are regulated by the states where they're located, others are nationally.
It's not a black and white issue. It's unfortunately there's a lot of gray in it.
Regardless, Haugen says he's sure the issue is getting a good hard look and moving towards more security. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
We reached out today to area recruiting centers. No one was willing to talk. Following the shooting in Tennessee, governors in at least a dozen states have ordered National Guardsmen to carry weapons. Minnesota's Governor Mark Dayton says it's an issue that Congress should decide, adding that he agrees with whatever the servicemen and women believe will keep them safe. And North Dakota Governor Jack Dalrymple says the National Guard is prepared to take additional steps if necessary. Valley News Live is hitting the road. We'd love to meet you. We want you to join us as we ride the rails of the Red River Valley and Western Railroad, July 27th and 28th. Our team will be doing newscasts live from a train. Now, we're going to be stopping in 8 towns over the 2-day period. On Monday, we start in Breckenridge for Valley Today. Then we move to Kindred for the North Dakota Today. Our noon show will be live from Castleton, and then we're going to be in Lisbon for our evening newscasts. On Tuesday, we'll be live from the towns of Lemoore, Verona, Oaks, and Gwinnett. Come out, meet our team, and tell us what's great about your community. Watch the Valley News Live, Riding the Rails, next Monday and Tuesday, July 27th and 28th.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, absolutely. Well, later on Valley News Live at 6, an up-close look at the exterior of Sanford Medical Center. What makes it so special?
A few sprinkles in the forecast tonight, but thunder does return to your forecast this week. I'll have details on when coming up right after this.